Hey guys, how's everyone doing today? So I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend and a happy Saturday. Now for today's video, I wanted to do a look with the Morphe 35M palette again, but I'm going to actually use the greens. Now when I told you about it, I initially said, that's the first thing I looked at. I saw the greens and I wanted to use them. So I am going to do that today. I have already primed my eyelids with the Age Rewind, the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. And then some Coty Airspun powder because I don't like using a sticky base. I feel like it takes longer for me to do my eyeshadow when I use a sticky base. So I'm just going to start off with using, there's a light brown in here, the lightest one. It's called Peachy Keen. And it does have kind of like a peach undertone to it, but it's just like a lighter brown. And I'm going to use that as my first transition shade. I'm going to bring it all the way through, like above my crease, and then all the way around like that. And I'm bringing this up higher because I'm going to use another brown, and then I'm going to get into the greens. And if you always see me, like a lot of people don't do this, but I connect all my eyeshadows in a corner. That way it kind of like transitions exactly the same way as I do up here, down here. So even though I'm not going underneath my eye, it's just setting up my transition. I just find it easier and it helps me do it. Not everybody's do it. Not everybody's the same, but that's my best way of doing it. You might hear a little noise in the background. It's Saturday, all my kids are home, my husband's home. The animals are here, my cat's sitting here near me eating tuna. You might see her hop up behind me on the bed or something. If you can see my background, if you can see my background, I don't know if you can or not. I kind of have it to where I'm brighter and the background's dimmed, so. I just find it easier to focus when the background's dimmed when I'm watching a video, so. That's why I did it for this one. So that's my first transition right here. And you can see it, but it's not really dark. It's a light color right there. And then I'm going to switch my brush. And I'm going to use my Morphe 330. And I'm going to dip that into the color, let's see, Talk Dirty. And it's just a dark brown. It's kind of more of a cooler brown, a cooler tone brown than a warm tone. I'm just going to put that right up here, like high up in my crease. And I'm going to bring it all the way in. I am going to be doing a cut crease, so I was thinking about doing a double cut crease because I wanted to incorporate some kind of gold into what I'm doing with my eyes, so there she is. She's jumped up behind me. These colors are very, very easy to work with. I mean, some of them have a lot of pigmentation, so you do have to be careful. And you can see I barely dipped into the color and, did my whole eye with it. And it doesn't have to be like perfect or exact because I'm doing a cut crease. I just wanted to be a roundabout. Okay. Now I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to go into the darkest green in the palette. And the darkest green is called Green with Envy. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the little paper here so I can see the shade names for you. Now I'm going to go right kind of over top of that and then down lower. Sorry, the cat's taking a bath. I'm sure you can hear her. And now this is where I'll cut my crease in, just so that way you can see the brighter colors better, because they're so bright they're kind of light. Alright, so I'm just going to use a little concealer brush it's like a Walgreens concealer brush from their little kit they have. And I'm going to use my little mirror, and I'm just going to put this over, you know, my eyelid. Sorry if you can see everything in my mirror. I'm trying to do this as even as I can. And the only reason why I'm doing this, like I said, is so you can see the lighter colors actually perform, like the bright greens and stuff. Like you can see it on my eyes, but excuse me, in the videos it's kind of harder to see it sometimes, so. I'm just going to pat that in with my finger, and then I'll start putting other colors on there. Alright, so I'm going to go back into that dark green shade. I'm just going to reinforce the color right at my crease. And I'm going to bring the dark green in right here also. I'm sure you can hear my kids laughing. They're having a blast. So there's all the dark green. Alright, so I got the dark green on the outer edge, and see if it's even. Alright, and now I'm going to move on to brighter green. And the brighter green, I'm sorry, the dark green was Green with Envy. The next green I'm going to use is called Nude 2. And it's like the Green with Envy, but a little bit lighter. It kind of has like the khaki green tone. Kids are playing. And I'm using this color just to transition into a brighter green. And to kind of blend the harsher lines like right in here. And I am going to put some shimmers over this eventually. I know it kind of seems like a lot, but this is how I like to do it. I want the green to be my main focus of the color in my eye, and then I'll put the shimmers over it, and that way you can still see. Like, there is a green shimmer in this palette, and I'm going to use that. And I might use a gold because I just like using gold. And if I can't incorporate regular gold in an eyeshadow color, then I will incorporate it by doing a second cut crease, like straight across my crease area. And I'll use the gold, what is it called? It's like an eyeliner. So now I'm going to use the brightest green in the palette. And that is called Stroke of Luck. This is a very, very vibrant green. And I just didn't feel like if I didn't put concealer on, I don't think that it would have showed up like it will with the concealer. And I'm just bringing that into the khaki color. So I'm going to use a different concealer for this. I'm going to use the Flower Beauty Light Illusions because it's a lighter color and it has a thicker consistency. So you'll be able to see the shimmer a little better. Just wiping off my concealer brush. Sorry, I just look up so that way that concealer touches every spot it's going to my eye, so that way it doesn't bleed later. Like the color doesn't bleed in or transfer. I think that's what I was looking for. Alright. I'm just going to pat that concealer in with my hand, and with my finger, sorry. Just so that way it's not so stark light. And then I'm going to use that same green color I was going to use, the green gold. You can see it there. And then I'm probably going to brighten the center with a little gold at the end. Now you can see all the different greens, and since that's still kind of lighter from the concealer, I'm just going to use the medium green shade, Express Yourself, and make it transition and go back together, or go together better, what I meant to say. I don't want any stark lines anywhere, so I'm just trying to make it more cohesive. There we go. All right. Now I'm gonna. I actually have a. There's a gold in here. See, but it's kind of like an extra bright. I'm gonna see if it's the same color as this little one I have. See how they're two different kind of golds? I'm gonna attempt to use one from the palette. Excuse me. But if that's not bright enough, then I'm gonna use my little loose pigment. Wipe the loose pigment off. And all of these shimmer colors in this palette, excuse me, my coffee. All of the shimmer colors in this palette have like a little bit of very fine glitter in them. Sorry if my voice is getting raspy. I'm still shaking off whatever I had. It hasn't fully gone yet. So you see the gold in the middle now. And if you want to take it further, like I'm probably going to do with the gold, excuse me, you can add a little bit of the loose pigments. Like any gold loose pigment will work. So I'm just dipping my flat shader brush into that. I think it'll bring in more. Just add just a little bit more to it for me. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to blend the green back into it so it's not too bright. I just want it just that little bit more. And I wasn't getting it from the gold because of the shimmers in it. It kind of takes away from it sometimes. Let's see. My hands are covered in glitter. So I'm going back into that green shimmer shade. Seems like once I got through the top layer, it turned more green. So I'm just going to blend in that gold with the green. There we go. And it just made it just that tiny bit brighter. So I'm going to do my lower lash line now. And I'm going to start with the darkest shade on a little flat brush I have. I'll try this one. All right, just on a regular flat eyeliner brush or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm having like an attack from whatever. I think I've been sick for almost a month. I'm sick of being sick. So I'm going to go into the darkest green shade that I used on the flat brush. And I'm just going to go very, very close to my lash line. And I'm going to go about 3/4 of the way across my eye. All right. Excuse me. Now I'm just going to take another brush. It's like another, I think it's supposed to be like a mini shader brush, but I use it for underneath my eye. And I'm going to dip into the brightest green that I used. And I'm going to use that in the inner corner of the bottom of my eye and my lower lash line. I just want to connect that to the darker color. So you can see the bright green. Hope you can see it. So it's really bright green right in here. Into the darker green, which almost resembles like a black color on camera right now. But once I blend it out, you'll be able to see it better. So I'm taking my pencil brush and I'm going to dip it into the very first shade I used, which is the Peachy Keen. And I'm just going to blend this in. There we go. Alright, so I blended that all the way across. Now I'm going to finish the rest of my face, and I'll come back and I'll highlight my inner corner and everything. See you in a second. Alright, now that I'm finished, I did my foundation, concealer, highlight, bronzer, all that stuff. I did my brows, my highlight, my lip liner, a little bit of lip gloss. It was hard to match the eyeshadow to the lip gloss. But now for my inner corner highlight, I think I actually want to use maybe a gold. And there's no real, like, I mean, there is a gold eyeshadow in here, like a gold shimmer shade, but it's not quite the tone that I want. So I actually have this little thing from Butter London right here. The actual product is in the cap. It's inside here, and you can see it on the end. So I'm just going to tap it on right there. A little mirror. And see if that does what I want it to do. Because it should just accent the green just a little bit, because gold and green go so good together. Sorry, my lighting just went in and out. We've actually had storms all day, so. And I'm going to use this for my brow bone highlight also. I think this little thing's like so innovative because it's all in one. You can dart in your bag and then, you know, touch up if you have to later. I've had it forever, and like, you don't ever run out of it either. So that went a little crazy. It's a little bit more than I wanted it to be. So all you have to do is tap it in like that, and it's literally like exactly what you want it to be. It's not too bright. It's just enough you can catch it in the light every once in a while. There you go. So yeah, I mean, that's what I was able to do with all the greens in the Morphe 35M eyeshadow palette. Sorry, I'm getting stuffy. I dusted my house yesterday, and ever since, like, I've been 10 times worse than what I was to start. But I'm going to show you a little closer the eyeshadow. And I used almost every green in the whole palette. I think it came out pretty good. And I think I'm going to try the purples next, because there is quite a bit of purples in this palette also. Yeah, I'm going to try the purples next, and then maybe something a little smoky with the glittery black that's in here and the regular black. And so maybe I'll get a couple more videos out of this palette here, but I don't want to be overkill with the palette. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked the look that I was able to make with this palette, and I also hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.